What's good, Pigeon Gang? Y'all already know who it is.
Who the fuck is this?
And in this video, we have top 10 haunting last photos of missing celebrities. That's creepy. Who was the person to capture these last photos? We gotta investigate those motherfuckers, because how you got the last photo? But let's get right into it. Without further ado, smack that like button if you're enjoying the content. Yeah.
Disappear, the last known location and photo of them is crucial in finding them, but unfortunately sometimes they still aren't found. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. I'm your host Emily, and today we're counting down our list of the top 10 haunting last photos of missing celebrities. Coming in at number 10 is Michael Rockefeller. Michael Rockefeller, the son of New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller, was 23 when he began dabbling in art collecting and travel photography. In November 1961, he traveled to the jungles of New Guinea to spend time with the native Asmat tribes when he went missing.
Rockefeller sounds like a rich-ass last name. You see that smile? We're gonna eat that white boy.
His official cause of death was noted as drowning, but conspiracy theories range from being kidnapped to going native to even being eaten by sharks. Another big theory is that he was eaten by people, as the Asmat tribes were involved in that practice,
I don't doubt
and
it.
they sometimes ended people's lives as a part of rituals. It's also been said that his boat overturned near the Asmat region of the island, and he swam to shore to look for help, and that's when he was attacked, as nobody ever saw him again. There have been some members of local tribes who have told stories indicating that Michael's life was ended upon reaching the shore, and that his body was cut up and the parts were handed out as gruesome.
He don't look dead here. Let's use that white boy.
Regardless of how or what happened, it will forever remain a mystery. Number 9. Prime Minister Harold Holt. On December 17, 1967, Harold Holt, the Prime Minister of Australia, disappeared while swimming in the sea. His last photo of him is him actually swimming. He was with others and he knew the area well.
My boy had game. Okay.
And he had swum there many times before, but it seems like he swam into deeper water and was dragged out to sea. The others called out to him, but he did not raise his arms or cry for help. He soon slipped under the waves and was out of sight. The Victoria police were contacted and initiated what became one of the largest search operations in Australian history. The entire Australian Defence Force was put on high alert, and an enormous search operation was mounted in and around the beach with helicopters, watercraft, police divers, and 2 naval diving teams, and more than 340 people were involved in the search.
All these resources?
Strangely, his body was never recovered, and it is generally agreed that his disappearance was a simple case of accidental drowning. But a number of conspiracy theories surfaced since. A 1968 story in the Sunday Observer claimed that Harold had been assassinated by the US Central Intelligence Agency, supposedly because he intended to pull Australia out of Vietnam. Also,
the CIA? It's true. Anytime there's conspiracies about the CIA involved, that shit true. I don't care.
Suggestions were made that Harold had his life ended by the North Vietnamese after being incapacitated by a nerve agent, or that he had faked his own life to be with a lover. In 1983, British journalist Anthony Gray claimed that Harold was a lifelong spy for the People's Republic of China. According to Anthony, Harold faked his own death to defect to China and was collected by frogmen who dragged him into a waiting submarine. Yeah. Now, regardless of...
Alright. That conspiracy was just straight we's on shrooms and let's tell stories type shit. That one was just a crazy shit. What
happened to him? This disappearance was extremely strange, and it seems like we'll never get answers. Number 8. Bison Dele. Before he changed his name, Bison Dele was basketball player Brian Williams, a 6'11" mountain of a man who was an amazing player in the NBA. He then quit sports and soon left the States at age 30. He stayed away from the US for years, raising hell in Australia, where he learned to sail and bought himself a boat named the Hakuna Matata. The ship's captain, Bertrand Saldo, and his older brother, Miles DeBoard. The last known photo is of him and Serena on Bora Bora Beach. Now, unfortunately, the group never made it to Hawaii, as Bison, his girlfriend, and the captain vanished at sea. 2 months Later, though, his brother Miles was arrested in Phoenix trying to buy gold with one of his brother's checks. Released on bail, he ended his own life, and it was suspected that he ended the lives of all three on board the ship, as he was allegedly a bitter guy who was prone to violence and envied his brother's success. It's said he most likely ended their lives and dumped their bodies in the Pacific. Now, to this day, their bodies have never been found. Number 7.
Money really do that to a motherfucker. That's why you don't trust nobody. When it comes to money, y'all, I'm gonna tell you right now. When it comes to money, you don't trust nobody. But 100K to a broke motherfucker is like life changing. They'll do anything for it.
Boggs. At the time he went missing, Hale Boggs was one of the most famous politicians in America. A Democrat from New Orleans, Hale had sat on the Warren Commission investigating JFK's assassination before becoming House Majority Leader during the Nixon years. He was thought to be an alcoholic, and he became famous for doubting the lone gunman theory in the JFK shooting. Now, Hale Boggs was kinda a big deal in 1972, hence the nationwide shock when he disappeared. On October 16th that year, he was in Alaska helping a fellow congressman's re-election bid. The two got on a light aircraft heading for remote Juneau, and they were never seen again. The weather was terrible that day, and as soon as Hale failed to show in Juneau, everyone guessed what had probably happened. They crashed. What was then the biggest search operation in US history was launched, with 90 planes searching 325,000 square miles of Alaska. But no trace of the missing aircraft or its occupants was ever found. To this day, there are some people out there who think Hale was assassinated for his work investigating the JFK assassination. Number 6.
Y'all see how crazy it is that all these deaths are leading back to doing something politically?
Scott Smith. Canadian band Loverboy was one of the biggest rock bands of the early 80s, and Scott Smith was a founding member, staying with the group all the way until his mysterious and frightening disappearance at sea on November 30th, 2000. After playing with his band in Vancouver, BC, Scott, two friends, and his girlfriend set out to Mexico on their 37-foot sailboat. As they sailed down the coast and neared San Francisco, the weather got rough, and one of them estimated that a wave to be around 20 feet high knocked Scott off the deck of the vessel and into the water. Coast Guard helicopters arrived within 20 minutes and dispatched 2 search boats, which scoured a 133 square mile area to no avail. When fog and continuing high waves ended that search, Scott's family paid for a private search by a San Francisco company, and that too proved fruitless. Now, to this day, his remains have never surfaced. Number 5.
Rest in peace, man.
Joe Pitchler. In the late 90s and early 2000s, child and teen actor Joe Pitchler appeared in a series of small and supporting roles in a number of movies and TV shows, most notably as Brennan Newton in the Beethoven family film franchise. Now, according to the Charlie Project, Joe spoke with a friend at about 4 a.m. on January 5th, 2006, in his northeastern Washington hometown of Bremerton. A few weeks before his 19th birthday, he left his apartment untouched, unlocked, and with the lights on, and apparently only took
ugly motherfucker.
His wallet and car keys before he disappeared without telling anyone where he might be going, apart from some poems that spoke to his depressing mindset. 4 days later, Joe's Toyota Corolla was located in Bremerton, and authorities suspected that Joe may have jumped to his death off a bridge over the Port Madison Narrows, but no evidence of that nor his remains were ever recovered. Number 4. Patrick McDermott. Patrick McDermott worked as a cinematographer on a handful of short films in the 2000s, but he was far more well known for his personal life, as he was involved romantically with Olivia Newton-John on and off. According to the Telegraph, Patrick was on board a Mexico-bound chartered fishing boat called the Freedom of California in June 2005, but didn't make it back with the ship. Philip Klein, a private investigator hired by the NBC investigative news show Dateline to find the 48-year-old cameraman, theorized in 2009 that Patrick faked his death and vanished as to cancel out substantial debts and to allow his son to cash in on a $150,000 life insurance policy. Philip firmly believed that Patrick was alive, citing 17 credible reported sightings, many of them from Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, the last place Patrick was seen alive. Now, according to the CBC, another investigation ruled that Patrick had likely drowned in the Pacific Ocean. However, in November November 2017, the Australian magazine New Idea and other tabloids published pictures purporting to be Patrick alive and well, but a Canadian man named Wes Staub refuted that claim, proving that he was the guy in the photos, not Patrick. So, is he well and alive? No one seems to know. Number 3, Amelia Earhart. In the 1930s, Amelia Earhart was an American hero and one of the most famous people on the planet. In 1932, according to the National Women's History Museum, Amelia became the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean unaccompanied, and she was awarded the Cross.
You look like a crackhead. God
The French
damn.
Legion of Honor and the American Distinguished Flying Cross, among other achievements. In 1937, she set out on a journey that would prove ambitious and mysterious. She aimed to be the first woman to fly all the way around the globe. Alongside her navigator, Fred Noonan, she departed Miami on June 1st, and by July 2nd, they made it to New Guinea with plans to hit Howland Island, a small uninhabited landmass between Hawaii and Australia. Now, sometime en route, Amelia, dealing with poor weather and low fuel, lost contact with a Coast Guard liaison. Her plane never landed and it was never discovered, nor were Amelia or Fred, despite a giant Coast Guard and Navy search effort that encompassed 250,000 square miles. Now,
if this, hold on. If this is what she flew out in and she hit that water, that shit sunk in like 5 minutes. Damn, that's crazy. And this time, she couldn't even think like, let me get my phone now. She was just there like, yeah, we're fucked. Now,
her last photo was done by a photo shoot she did days before she disappeared. Number 2, Richie Edwards. Manic Street Preachers guitarist and songwriter Richie Edwards disappeared without a trace in February 1995 when he was 27 years old. He was due to fly to the United States on a promotional tour of the Holy Bible. Although there were several theories about his disappearance, his highly publicized drug and alcohol use led people at the time to believe that he died by taking his own life, but the investigation itself has received criticism. In his 1999 book, Everything, a book about Manic Street Preachers, Simon Price states that aspects of the investigation were far from satisfactory. He asserts that police may not have taken Edwards' mental state into account when prioritizing his disappearance, and also records Edwards' sister Rachel as having hid out at police handling after CCTV footage was analyzed 2 years after Edwards vanished.
So random. It's analyzed. Why she say analyzed? You're a freak.
Price records a member of the investigation team as stating that the idea you could identify someone from that is errant nonsense. While his family had the option of declaring him legally dead from 2002 onwards, they chose not to for many years, and his status remained open as a missing person until November 23rd, 2008.
What the fuck happened, bro? Ugh. He got kidnapped by skinheads.
When he officially became presumed dead, but according to the police, Edwards is still considered a missing person. And coming in at number 1 is Sean Flynn.
Last person, Sean Flynn.
Sean Flynn went missing while abroad in the 70s. Sean, who was 28 at the time, and a group of journalists were in Ho Chi Minh City, then called Saigon, for a government press conference when a fellow reporter claimed he got a tip that the Viet Cong, a communist movement and United Front organization, were nearby. According to reports, Sean and photographer Dana Stone chose to travel on motorcycles instead of the limousines that the majority of the other journalists were using for traveling. Night reporter Steve Bell took the last known photo of the pair as they decided to walk on foot near the forest line where the checkpoint was to check it out, and the pair were never seen again. Now, 4 other international journalists were kidnapped by the Viet Cong on the same day, April 6, 1970, but Sean and Dana were never found. His mother spent a lot of her fortune searching for her son, who was legally declared dead in 1984. Well, that's all for our list of the top 10 haunting.
Y'all look like the 2 illest motherfucking... They don't look like journalists. So your ass probably got sniped and dragged, decapitated, and kept as a trophy. Next time, don't fuck around because you're gonna find out. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Pigeon Gang or No Gang.